Hello, hello, how are you? This is Michelle with Harmony Stamps. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I am coming to show you an additional card that I haven't showed you yet. It's actually one that I saw another demonstrator do, and I have basically copied the whole thing, but it is so cute. I had to. It is going to be using the Trucking Along bundle, which includes the Trucking Along stamp set and the Trucking Along Builder Punch. Now, the Builder Punch currently is unavailable, so that makes the bundle unavailable. It will be back in stock around mid-October, and it is totally possible to do this entire card without the punch. Just so you know, you can currently get the stamp set, the Trucking Along photopolymer stamp set, for $24 using that link. Ah, I see I have a heart. How lovely. Oh, and I forgot my banner too. Oh boy, I'm just totally not getting this right, huh? Let's get a few things going. Show my banner and then go see my comments. So thank you for the heart out there. I appreciate it. All right. So the Trucking Along photopolymer stamp set is currently still available. It is $24. You can use that host code. The description also has the information with a link directly to my site. Now, you won't get any make and takes with this specific um, uh, card that we're going to do today, but by using that host code, if you spend $35 between now and the end of Tuesday, then you will get the three make and takes to each of the three designs I showed you on Wednesday. Words apparently are hard today, but we'll work on it. So let's see what card we're going to do. It is absolutely adorable. I think it is hilarious. So this is the actual card. I originally saw it from Lisa Freeman, who also does videos, and she did this card. It was actually given to her as an idea from somebody else, which is really awesome. So basically, it's very easy to do. I'll lay out the bits that you're going to need. You'll need for the interior a 5 by 3.5, and you're going to need a 5 by 3 3/4 of the designer series paper. You're also going to need a matte layer that is 5 1/4 by 4. Your card base is going to be 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. You are going to need a little strip of paper, white, 1 1/4 by 3/4 to be your sentiment. Then you're going to need a strip of paper about 1.5 inches wide, and long enough to be able to put it in the punch if you happen to have the punch, for the punch. And then you'll need to also be stamping some presents, which I've already pre-stamped. I showed you how to both color and fussy cut those previously in the video I did on Wednesday, so you can go back and watch that. But I am going to go ahead and show you how to do the, oh yeah, you'll also need a little segment of the DSP for 5 3/4. So the way that I cut this DSP, I started on this side because it comes 6 by 6, and I just cut 3/4 of an inch off from this side so that I would have this strip. And then I turned it, and then I measured it out for the actual 3 3/4 and finished cutting. And then I cut from the top of the paper. So this was at the 5-inch mark. And that way I have enough for my strip for my inside, and I have the right portion of this that I want, because I wanted bits of this extra, and then the snow coming through to give it that sense of fast movement. So that you can see it one more time, I'll just stick these down so that you can see exactly what you're going to need to do these. And then, of course, your strip of paper. Don't have measurements for those, but a piece of scrap in your basic white is perfect and does everything that you need. I'm going to be using Stamp and Seal, and I'm going to also be using full-size dimensionals and mini dimensionals for my card layer. And that just, it's the easiest, fastest, best way for me to do this card. All right, so we'll get started. We will go ahead and let's start with our basic interior. We're going to put the, oops, let's get that out of the shot. We're going to put the little strip. I just kind of liked having that tree on this side there. So we're going to put a strip of adhesive down the side, just like that. And I'm going to actually pull it. Oops, that's some DSP from a different project I was working on today. I've got all of the cards designed for Wednesday's class, and I'm looking forward to that too. So I just kind of make sure and get this right precisely in the corner. I want to make sure it's completely covering all of the white cardstock on the edge, and then I just line it up all the way down. I barely got it tacked down before. I just want to make sure I like what I see, and when I do, then I give it a good press. I'm going to flip it up and use my snips to cut off this little extra teeny little bit on the end here. If it doesn't bug you, don't worry about it. All good. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that down on the interior of the card. So I'm going to flip it over and give it a little bit of adhesive on each corner. I like a teeny bit down the center and just on the very edges right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and give this a good centering. Make sure I like where it's at before I give it a good press. Good. All right. Then I'm going to take my matte layer and I'm going to attach my designer series paper to that. So again, just getting a little bit into the corners. Right now my silicone mat has played a disappearing trick on me, so it's a lot easier doing this with that, but it's okay. I know how to make it work without. And then I'm going to go ahead and give it a nice stand up so that I can get a good idea of my alignment here and make sure I've got exactly what I'm looking for. Set it down. If I'm happy, press it. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on my matte layer. Make sure I've got it right side up so I'm not putting it upside down because that would be really not fun. And yep, that's good. I'm liking that. So we have our card ready to decorate. I'm going to get out my real red Stampin' Pad and I'm going to start with the colored portion of the stamp, just because it's easier to get that outline after you've got the good stuff down. And I'm going to go high enough that I can get those tires in. Give it a nice press down and hold, but don't rock, and lift up. And there we go. That's pretty decent. I'm good with that. I'm going to use my cleaning scrub, my Stampin' Scrub cleaner. One side is wet and one side is dry. We're going to need this, but I don't want it getting other things inked up red, so I'm going to put it away until I'm ready for that. So now that I've got my red, I need my outline. So I got my outline stamp ready to go. I'm going to tap it into my Mento Black ink. And then I find it a bit easier to do a standing look. So I'm just kind of lining up my window and my wheels and then my edges. When I'm happy with it, I'm going to set it down and I'm going to hold it with some weight. Again, I'm not rocking it. I don't want to create halos, but I do want it to be solidly, fully inked up, and I'm satisfied with it. Yeah, that's looking decent. When you don't have a camera in front of your face, you can get even better at it than I just did, but this will work. I think I'm going to add a touch of red up to the top just to make it more full. I don't want to get into the intentional white spots because those are the highlight lines and we want those to definitely be there. I'm just using my Stampin' Write markers to add that color back in where I didn't quite get the stamp down where I wanted it. All right, and then I am going to use my black Stampin' Write marker to do the tires. And I do like that bullet point pen with the new Stampin' Write markers. This bullet point tip is really, really good for laying more color down and just getting around the edges first and just being a little careful around those because I don't really want a flat tire. And then I just add the color to the center to fill in the black where it needs to be. That's pretty easy to do. And then we find our punch again after we buried it. That's like hide and seek is the favorite part of stamping. I don't know about you, but I tend to have some fun with that. All right, so I'm gonna get my stamped image into my punch and line it up where I want it. And that looks good. So I'm gonna press and punch. That leaves me with a nice little outline and some extra little bits since I'm not intending to use those in this card. All right, I'm going to turn my little truck over and put some dimensionals, 3 of them for the truck. Almost done with this sheet. As you notice, I've been using the edges too on different projects. Always use up your edges. They work great for those little areas that are hard to get to. Okay, so then I'm going to start assembling. I'm going to peel off my dimensionals. And I want the truck kind of in front of this treetop going downhill at a click. So there we go. Then I'm going to grab all my little presents. I have 6 total that I've pre-colored. There was the last one. And then I also, before I get too much further, I want to stamp my sentiment, which is the special delivery. And I'm going to do that in real red. I'm going to put these out of danger. And tap, 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 tap. Look and make sure. All right. And I'm going to center it on this nice little bit of white, basic white paper that I pre-cut. Looking good. Gonna clean my stamp on the wet side and then give it a little bit of a dry on the dry side. And then I'm going to get my little tweezers that allow me to hold it without pinching. So basically you just press them to open up. See? There we go. And then I'm going to dip it into the ink pad until I get a nice edge around it. So as you can see, it's starting to get some color. When it's a juicier pad, it gets color faster. I'm going to get all 4 edges. And I'm going to turn it for the last edge. And there you go. Just gives it the illusion that you have backed it with a matte layer of red paper, which is pretty awesome and fun. All right, we're going to push that aside again at the moment. And we have one last bit of stamping to do when I find it. There it is. And that is our little shadow, because otherwise it looks like the tree is levitating. And while levitating tree or trucks can be fun, they aren't very realistic. So I'm just tapping in a little bit here, and then I'm just going to press down on the paper, lift up, and call it good. That definitely makes it obvious that the truck is above the ground, at least a little bit, and more in contact with the surface. We call that grounding. All right, so now I need my little mini dimensionals. Well, let's see. Let's just go ahead and get this big one here and put it on one side. And because of the size of this, it doesn't really need a full one for the other side. So I cut like between these bits on the edge, and that is going to be the other side that I do. So I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to put a single bit of dimensional. You can use minis, but since I've got this out and I'm near done with it anyways, I'm going to go ahead and use my edge pieces from my full-size dimensionals to go ahead and put a single dimensional on each of my little presents near the center. I'm going to start with that first one, kind of tucking it in behind the cab. And then the last one I'm just going to have kind of hanging out down there. And I'm going to get some more bits of dimensionals and place those on my packages. This is just another fun way that you can use that that bundle and or stamp set. And I love a sense of humor, so that definitely plays into my desires and enjoyments. All right, so I'm going to kind of put this one at an angle like it's being bounced towards the back. And we're going to do that, you know, in opposite directions, because this truck is loaded for bear, and somebody's given it a mission to get it all to the people. And unfortunately, we hit a bump in the road, and so we have this one is going to be tumbling off and falling towards the downhill portion. Just like that. And there we have our truck and our presents all happy and doing their thing. And all we have left to do is put our sentiment on. Make sure we put it on in the right direction, just up here in this corner-ish. And there you go. Not too difficult. The most time-consuming part truly is coloring and cutting these little presents, and I'd say doing 6 of them maybe took me about 15 minutes at best to both color and cut them out with fussy cutting with my little snips. Not difficult to do at all, and all kinds of fun and pretty, and I love how it looks. It goes quite well with the other ones, just like it, which I'm going to grab. To remind you, the make and takes include this guy and this guy and this guy. So when you do put in that $35 purchase by the end of Tuesday, you'll get enough to make 2 each of these 3 cards. And then you'll have the knowledge you need to make this one. And if you go ahead and purchase the one horse open sleigh paper, which is $12.50, and the Trekking Along stamp set, which is $24, that puts you very close to that $35 mark. So then if you added this ribbon, that's another $9 if I remember correctly, which definitely puts you over that limit. And just as a reminder, if you do purchase $50, I will be sending you a spool of that ribbon. And if you're going to be purchasing over 150, so $150 or more, don't use the host code. Just make sure you're on my website for Michelle Barnes Harmony Stamps, and make that purchase of $150. And then you get to have all of the host rewards yourself. And that would be pretty awesome for you to be able to have all of that good stuff yourself. And then at $150, that gives you an additional $15 of product to choose from. I will still send you the make and takes as long as you use my website to make the purchase. And I will also send you the spool of the ribbon as well. So those are some pretty awesome options for you. Hopefully you enjoyed this bundle, this set, this paper. It's pretty amazing. I've seen a lot of awesome things done with this paper and other stamp sets, and the scenes in it are just beautiful, and they make it so easy to create awesome projects. And that's one of the things I love about Stampin' Up! I get the opportunity to create all kinds of amazing, fun things. So hopefully you have enjoyed this project today, and I will be back on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're going to be doing a little Halloween. I don't know. Should I give you a sneak peek or a quick one of one possible thing we'd like to do? Okay, I'll be nice. I'll give you a sneak peek. See, Mr. Bones has been having some fun. So this is one of the cards that we're going to be doing on Wednesday. All right, everybody, this has been Michelle with Harmony Stamps. Again, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday. If I can help you in any way, please reach out. I can help you make that order if you want. Have a good one.